Thank you so much. First, I want to say thank you to IFIT and the Polarization Community of Practice for creating this space. Before I begin, I would like to ask for your patience because English is not my first language, so I will be reading most of my remarks today. I have spent the last 5 years living in exile, and the reflection I share today come both from that experience and from my work facilitating dialogues process among Nicaraguans. I would like to begin with a simple reality. In Nicaragua, exile did not only displace people, it also displaced relationships. Since 2018, hundreds of thousands of Nicaraguans have left the country. Thousands of civil society organizations have been shut down. Many leaders have been imprisoned, expelled, or stripped of their nationality. And much of civil society has been forced to reorganize in exile. When a society experiences this kind of rupture, the question is not only how to survive politically. The question is how do we preserve the capacity to live together, cooperate, and build a shared future? Because democratic transitions depend not only on institutions, they also depend on human relationships. The challenge, polarization was not limited to the divide between government and opposition. In our case, it also emerged within the democratic sector themselves, between generations, organizations, people inside and outside the country, and individuals carrying very different experience of conflict in exile. Physical distance became emotional distance. This road began replacing collaboration, and suffering started competing for legitimacy. Our response faced with this reality, we decide not to begin with political advocacy, not with strategy, not with coordination. We began with relationships. Over the past several years, we have developed a progressive dialogue system focused on rebuild trust, strengthening democratic capacities, and fostering collective actions. Today, we have worked with 876 participants in our dialogue systems, 350 dialogue sessions, 2,700 interactions, 900 shared hours, and uh, parti- seven participants living in more than 7 countries. And perhaps most importantly, we do not seek to produce consensus. We seek to build the capacity to manage disagreement. Three lessons that we understand in this process. First lesson, trust is democratic infrastructure. Trust is not the outcome of democratic transformation. It is a prerequisite for it. Second lesson, polarization is also emotional. It is rooted in fear, trauma, loss, exclusion, and accumulated experience of violence. Often people do not need more arguments. They need to feel heard before they are willing to listen. Third lesson, dialogue must lead to agency. Trust alone does not transform societies. It must become leadership, cooperation, and collective action. Our conclusion, so, how can societies resist polarization when political conflict force leader into exile? My answer is simple: by preserving relationship, by creating a space where disagreement does not destroy dignity, by investing in trust before cooperation becomes necessary, and by understanding that future reconciliation begins long before political transition. It's begun today. In the conversation, we're still capable of having one day Nicaragua will experience democratic change. When that day comes, institutions will matter, agreements will matter, elections will matter. But none of these things will be enough if we have not preserved the relationship capable of sustaining democratic coexistence. Our work has not simply been about creating dialogue, it has been about protecting the possibility of a shared future. Thank you very much.